Ed, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey Keith, how you been?
I've been good, been busy, but so haven't you with Seismic. The last time we spoke was about 2 years ago, and you guys were probably a third of the size you are now. So we're going to get into the weeds of Seismic's growth and what you guys are up to. So let's just kind of set the stage for anyone that's not familiar with Seismic. What do you guys do?
So we're a sales enablement software company, and we help marketing and sales teams work better together. And we help sellers condense their deal cycles and win more deals and actually sell bigger deals by using the product.
And what's a good use case for just an example of a customer and how they would use your platform?
Yeah, so good question. So we integrate with other enterprise systems like email and CRM and others. So we have a good sense of what meetings salespeople are going out on, what the buyer persona is of the person that you're going to be meeting with, what stage of the sales cycle, whether they're a client or not. So we take all of that information that we have before the actual meeting, and Seismic makes really smart suggestions on the materials to use that are going to resonate best in that setting. So we know if you're going out to visit a CMO of an investment management firm in Boston, we help you find the perfect pitch deck and a perfect video testimonial of another customer that fits that profile. A couple of case studies, and then we track the interaction of the salesperson, how they use those materials, as well as the customer themselves, push the information back into the system, and then get smarter as we go, because the system's always listening to the patterns of what good salespeople are doing and the types of things that are helping deals to win and close faster.
And what's like the general range of types of customers you work with in terms of size? Like I know enterprise is a big piece, but like what's the full spectrum?
Yeah, so we sell to big companies like General Electric and IBM and American Express. And we sell to a bunch of the companies that like you work with, like Seismic, high growth tech companies that have raised a bunch of funding, are hiring salespeople very quickly and need to get those people onboarded, ramped, and selling as soon as possible to have an impact on that current year.
Now, since we had our conversation a couple of years ago, Seismic was, I think, 200 employees, and a lot has happened since then. So why don't we kind of bring our audience up to speed on Seismic's growth and funding raised and all the great stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like just yesterday we got connected, and here we are 2 years later, and we have about 3 times the amount of people. So we're over 600 employees worldwide.
Wow.
We have over 150 here in the Boston office. Last summer, we moved over to the Seaport. So we're over here on Thompson Place, very close to the Trillium Brewery, right down the street. And, we have all roles of all types here. We have sales, we have marketing, we have customer success. We have a growing engineering presence here in Boston. So, we're constantly looking for smart people that want to join a winning team and want to make an impact every day at work.
And you guys are global now. So you have a very large headquarters in San Diego, but you have offices spread throughout the world now, right?
Yeah, we do. We have a big office in Chicago, New York, San Francisco, expanded at the beginning of the year over to Europe. So we have about 35 people in London. We have about 25 people down in Asia. And we're hiring in all regions currently, so it's exciting. Yeah, we've always sold to global customers, and now that client roster is growing so quickly. We're putting people overseas almost every day to help service them.
Now, at the end of last year, Seismic announced your latest round of funding, which was $100 million. So obviously, there's some aggressive growth plans behind that. Since our audience is, majority of which is in Boston and New York. Like what are the growth plans, for Boston and for New York?
Yeah, so we're hiring every day. We have open recs in all of those different positions I talked about: sales, marketing, customer success, engineering, support. We just hired a CMO to run our financial services practice here in Boston, a guy named Bill Finnegan, who has 30 years experience in the financial services space. We're hiring sales leaders, individual salespeople, a bunch of other folks. In Boston and New York specifically, I'd encourage folks to go look at the job board. There's probably 30 to 50 openings right now that we're looking for folks. So it's super exciting. It's a cool culture. It's a good team. I think we hire smart people that, as I mentioned, want to make an impact at work and not just kind of push papers around and wait for the clock to end.
I guess, to expand on that a little bit. So what do you think is like good characteristics of someone that would thrive in the culture of Seismic?
Yeah, I think, much like a lot of the companies you work with, I mean, we're a crazy environment that's changing rapidly, that offers opportunity to do a bunch of different things. We had 15 interns start here in the Boston office a few weeks ago, and we push them right into the fire where we teach them the business, we teach them how to sell. They're actively adding to the sales pipeline. And last summer we had 4 or 5 folks that got full-time jobs coming out of the internship program. We've had, going back 5 years, we've had interns that ended up being inside sellers that moved into outside sellers that now have management jobs. So, the type of people we're looking for are people that thrive in a high growth environment, that like change, that want to take on more responsibility, and are comfortable being uncomfortable in a fast moving environment.
Yeah. So it's the opportunity to come in and just see your career rocket ship up the ride and thrive in this situation. If if you can continue to succeed and push your own career forward.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell the team, if you're not getting promoted here at Seismic, it's your fault because the opportunities are all around you. And if you want to grab one, they're there.
So why is now the ideal time to join the company?
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, in December, we closed our Series E round of financing. We were lucky enough to partner with Lightspeed Ventures, which is a really well thought of venture capital fund. So we have a bunch of money in the bank. We're growing rapidly. The sales enablement space is a new category. So it's a kind of a space that's exploding around us. And we're using that capital to build out salespeople, marketing people, and product people to go help our customers succeed. So, it's a great time to join because we're old enough that, our chances of succeeding are better than they were a couple of years ago, even when we first talked, but we're not old enough that we're boring and not a fun place to work anymore. So it's kind of like you almost get the best of both worlds at this spot. And it's super exciting.
Well, as Ed mentioned, Seismic is growing aggressively across all functional areas. So if you want to see a complete listing of their openings, you can go to their biz page on VentureFizz, which is venturefizz.com/Seismic, SEISMIC, and you'll see all their openings there. Ed, thanks so much for taking the time to bring us up to speed on all the awesome things happening at Seismic.
Yeah, good to see you, Keith. Thanks for your help. And it's great to see you again. And we'll talk soon.